You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. Joining me today is special guest, photographer and author, Brittany Vega. We'll be talking to Brittany today about her latest book, Harlow and Sage and Indiana, True Story About Best Friends. A beautiful book, beautiful pictures, and heartfelt stories and happenings and funny little things in there as well. So we'll open up to Brittany here shortly to tell us a little bit about the book, tell us about how she came about writing it, and all the things that go into putting together a fantastic book. So before we go into commercial break, got a quick little announcement. How would you like to receive a free copy of my book, my audio book, I should say, Wagging Tails, Every Animal Has a Tail? Well, now it is available on audiobook through Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. And by listening to this show, you have an opportunity to receive a free downloadable copy of the audiobook. Now, sometime during the show, I'll ask a question about today's author and book. The first person to email me at tim@petliferadio.com with the correct answer will receive a copy of the audiobook. So everybody listen closely and then email me quickly. The first person to write answer will get a copy of that audiobook, Wagging Tails, Every Animal Has a Tail. So everybody hang tight. We're going to come back with Brittany Vega right after these messages. You're listening to Animal Rights Show on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket.
Awesome.
Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com, the latest fashion trends for our furry friends. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered Tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link. Joining me now is author Brittany Vega. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations on putting together such a great book, Harlow and Sage in Indiana, a true story about best friends. Tell us a little bit about the book.
So the book actually, it started, I started an Instagram account for my dog in March 2013. And when I started that account, we had Harlow and Sage. Harlow's a Weimaraner and then Sage is our dachshund. And I started the Instagram account just to document their friendship. And I was taking all the pictures that I was posting with my iPhone and putting little captions in. And then the account was actually featured on Instagram in August of 2013. And then after that, it just kind of blew up and we were able to put a book together. And so now we have Harlow in Indiana. Sage actually passed away in September of last year. And so now we were able to put the book together and just tell their story. So.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Now, had you been, we'll track this Instagram, how this Instagram sensation happens. Had you already been previously active with Instagram and other social medias before you decided to do this?
Well, I had my own Instagram and I started one for my dogs. I felt like I was driving my friends and family crazy with putting all the dog pictures on my own. So I decided to start one just for the dogs. But other than that, Instagram was the first thing I'd ever done for my dogs. And then we also started a Facebook account at the beginning of 2014. So.
Very good. Now, the Instagram obviously has taken off huge, and how that came about. Was it your idea to come up with a book after probably many proddings of friends and family, or was it something that a publishing house or agent had contacted you about?
We actually had a publishing agent contact us about it. And so the two of us put together a proposal and all of our pictures and a little story, and then that's how that all came about.
That's fantastic. Now, had you had any inkling when March 2013 came around that, hey, I'm going to put a bunch of pictures out there, it's going to get a lot of traction, I'm going to have a great book out?
No, not at all. I had no idea. It was just funny little pictures we were taking around the house, and so I had no idea that anything like this would ever happen.
That's great. Now, I have to ask you, Brittany, what is the ratio of pictures on social media of you and your husband versus all your furry friends and family?
Oh, we have, thousands of pictures of our dogs and probably 10 pictures of us.
That's the way it usually works. That's sort of the way I am too. It's every once in a while people say, well, send us an updated picture. And I'm like, oh, goodness. Yeah, I got one of the pups and the rabbits and the cats and everything else, but none of us. So yeah, I understand that. Well, then writing the book itself, tell us a little bit about that process as far as, did you find it, I'm assuming this is the first book that you put together, is that correct?
Yeah, it is the first book.
Okay. So how did you find that whole process? Was it easier than you thought? Was it a lot more difficult? Was it more time-consuming?
The book is actually told from Harlow's perspective, and so it was a lot of fun to just kind of tell a story in her words. And Harlow is, she's just a funny dog, but so just, putting a story together in her words, it just made it so much more fun. And I didn't struggle with writing it, and it was just a lot of fun, so.
Very cool. Now, did Sage or now Indiana get jealous because Harlow's getting all the press time here?
No, they're used to it. So,
as long as there's plenty of treats and bones and things,
yes,
yes, it's a good deal. Well, then tell me about the book itself. Now that it's out, how has the activity been on not only, you don't have to go into sales numbers or anything of this sort, but just your day-to-day life? How has that changed? Has there been book tours and press conferences and, radio shows like this? How has that all come about?
Yeah, we actually have been to California a few times just on book tours, so the dogs have been able to travel a little bit, and everything else we're just trying to keep as normal as possible. So it's been surreal for all of us, but I'd say we're trying to keep it as normal as we can. So
there you go. Now, when you travel to California and other sites, the pups go with you, and are they at the book signings and at the television events and things of this sort?
Yeah, so we've had 3 signings so far, and they've been at all 3 of them. So it's been fun for them to meet other dogs. People bring their dogs to the signings, and so we're able to meet people and their dogs, and the dogs are all able to play, and so it's been a lot of fun.
Very good. Now, I had this happen. I was at a book festival a few years back, and not my book, but someone else put together a lovely little book, a little preteen book, and it had a dog as a featured member or the featured person, furry person inside the book. And what they did is they got a ink pad that had a food non-toxic pad, and actually each time their dog would place their little paw on the pad and then put it on the book. So I don't know if you thought about that already or not, but I think there's some marketing there for you.
We actually had a stamp made. So we did the whole ink thing at our house and made paw prints, and then we had a stamp made of each one of their paws. And so for every book, we just stamped the book with the stamp. So
very cool. Now you have it forever. You don't have to disrupt their routine when they're playing.
Yeah, don't bother them with.
That's smart. That's smart of you. I like that. Well, then putting together the book itself, I know there's a lot of photos. Now, were all the photos inside the book photos that you had taken, you and your husband, or was it other people involved in that as well?
Yeah, my husband and I took all of the photos, and people are always asking us what camera we use, but we both have used our iPhones, so they're just pictures that we've both had on our phones.
Wow. iPhone, Apple, are you listening? I see sponsorships. That's great because they are very remarkable pictures. How you guys came up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it did a great job. Now, did you have a difficult time, or you and your editors have a difficult time choosing the right photos to put together the book? Because like I said, there's thousands of them out there.
Yeah, and we had all the pictures, and so it was easy to just go through and select each picture and then kind of tell the story from the pictures that we had. And so that's how we did that. We had the photos first, and then the story kind of went into the pictures. So
wow, that's fantastic. Well, it's a beautiful book. I would have thought, like everyone else, these are professional photography. I think you got a future in this as well. Do you do professional photography, or is this something you do as a hobby? Or
no, it's just a hobby. So
well, there you go. You got another side job for you here. I think. That's great. All right, Brittany. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back with Brittany Vega and talk to her a little bit more about Harlow and Sage in Indiana, a true story about best friends. And we'll talk to her a little bit more about the whole process, the writing process, and what went into the book. So everybody hang tight. We'll come back right after these messages. You're listening to Animal Rights Show on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Hi, this is Tim Link, animal communicator and pet expert and host of Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Have you ever wanted to know what your pet is really thinking? Do you want to find out if they truly understand what you're trying to tell them? Ever wish you could build a better understanding and closer relationship with your pet? Well, now you can. Learning to Communicate with Animals is a 4-part on-demand workshop. In the workshop, you'll learn the essential techniques that are necessary to communicate with animals, including what is animal communication, breathing correctly to achieve the perfect state to communicate with your animals at a deeper level, using guided meditation exercises and method to communicate with animals, and how to send and receive information from your animals. So if you're wanting to learn how to communicate and connect with your animals at a deeper level, visit PetLifeRadio.com/workshop and purchase and download Learning to Communicate with Animals. You'll be glad you did.
Calling all pet product manufacturers and pet experts. Let the public relations and marketing professionals at Whitegate PR get you featured in the news. I'm Dana Humphrey at Whitegate PR, and we have been specializing in pet product PR for over 10 years and can get your brand featured in the media, from TV to radio to print to blogs. You can find out more at www.whitegatepr.com.
Hey there, pet parents. This is Christy Vaughn, host of The Doggy Dish. Do you love your furry companion? Do you love making him or her healthy treats but can't seem to find the time? Great news. The Doggy Dish is the perfect show for you. Every episode is chock full of healthy and easy recipes that are made with ingredients you most likely have on hand. Tune into The Doggy Dish for yummy and healthy recipes for your canine kids.
Every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Tim Link with Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. I want to tell you about another little promotion we got going on, a little exciting thing that I'm excited about. My new book, Talking with Dogs and Cats, Joining the Conversation to Improve Behavior and Bond with Your Animals, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. So the book's not available till next year, but you can go on and pre-order it through Amazon. There's a 10% discount right now if you pre-order it. And we received some wonderful news today. Amazon has selected the book, Talking with Dogs and Cats, as an Amazon editor's favorite books of the year. So it's already getting some tractions, and we thank everybody for that, everybody taking a look at the book, and thank our friends at Amazon for picking that as a favorite book of the year. So everybody go take a look at it. My latest and greatest, pre-order your copy and get 10% off. It's Talking with Dogs and Cats by Tim Link. Now we're joining back with Brittany Vega, talking to her about her book, Harlow and Sage in Indiana, a true story about best friends. Now, Brittany, I want to ask about each of the pups. Now, how did you come about their names, and tell us a little bit about their history?
Yeah, so Sage was the first dog that we have. She's the older dachshund, and I got her when I was 13, and so the two of us kind of grew up together. She was just our family dog, and then my husband and I got married, and that's when Harlow came into the picture, the Weimaraner. And then after Sage had passed away, we got Indiana. So, and then their names, I don't know, we just always really liked those names. My husband jokes around that Indiana was named after Indiana Jones because when we brought her home, she had kind of a hairy little chest, kind of funny looking, but but yeah, those are the girls. So
I love it. And I'm assuming her little chest and funny looking. That has no impact on the lead in Indiana Jones. I'll leave it at that. Well, I like it because I'm an Indiana boy. I'm a Hoosier, born and raised. So I like that. I like that a lot. When you had the book idea and the concept and you started putting together the photos, had you already earmarked the book and start working on that before Sage made the transition?
Yeah, Sage had already passed away when all of this came about. So.
Okay, and so the Indiana came into picture, and you just had to get a few pictures of Indiana to make sure Indiana was part of the book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the writing process. And inside the book, you have wonderful pictures in here. There's funny little pictures. There's poignant pictures. There's loving pictures. There's a whole different assortment here. How did you come about putting together the captions and the verbiage? I know it came from Harlow's mouth, so I do know that. But how did Harlow transmit that information telepathically or what have you to you to be able to have the right caption to make sure you get it right?
Mm-hmm. Has her own little typewriter, so she just would be working on her typewriter every night,
So she's old school, right? A little.
Yeah, she's old school. She's got a typewriter.
Brittany, I'm surprised you know what a typewriter is. I figured there'd be some serious iPad. You should have just said she had an iPad to go along with your iPhone. Get some more promotional dollars. I'm trying to help you out here, Brittany. So after putting together the book and getting it out there into the market, how's that been? Has it been everything you thought it was going to be? Have you been bombarded with new fans and new people checking it out? How's that whole process been?
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to meet, a lot of new people that didn't know about us before, and now the book is out there, and so people that, just had no idea what Instagram or their Facebook were, they're able to see that now. So they find the book, and then they find out that there's an Instagram and a Facebook account to kind of go with the book. So that's been a lot of fun, a new audience, and it's been great.
That's great. So what's the future plans other than everybody getting plenty of belly rubs and wonderful treats? I do know that. But what's the plans? Do you see the series continuing? Are you going to possibly come out with more books? What's your future plans with the whole?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it continues. And I mean, we ended the book, and I mean, this is kind of just the middle of their story. And so I hope that, we can keep going with it and keep telling their story. So
that's great. Yeah. And I'm sure with all the traction and everything that's getting behind it and all the fans coming on board, it'll definitely continue on. And how have you found social media in general, getting that message out? To me, it's obviously an important tool, but it seems like that's outside the book. That's the main thrust of getting the message out.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, whenever we need to communicate with our followers, we're just able to do it through Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And so it's just been the best thing to be able to have that in order to communicate with people.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's taken off. And Instagram obviously takes a different angle at it as well. It allows you to share a lot of wonderful photos and obviously share them back over on Facebook and Twitter and some of the other social media accounts. So then tell us a little bit about the personalities. Got to get to know a little bit more about Harlow in Indiana. What do they like? What do they don't like? I know off air we talked about the first snow of the year has hit your neck of the woods. How is that handled by the pups?
Yeah, they've all been really different. Sage was so sweet, and I mean, she was a little bit older. So, and then Harlow's just crazy. People think that she's really calm and serious all the time, but she's actually really hyper and crazy. And then Indiana, we're finding, is just a little bit feisty. So she started out really sweet when she was a puppy, and now she's just getting a little bit feisty. So they're all different, and they're all just fun, and they make every day really fun around our house. So
I bet. Now, do you get fans that tell you want to know more about a particular one, or maybe they're particularly fond of one of the breeds more than others, or is it more of a collective that they just love them both?
Yeah, they all, I mean, different people, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they all have their own kind of little followings.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because obviously I know that through certain breeds, everybody loves animals, and they should, and everybody loves dogs, and they should. But there's always one or two breeds that if you have them in your book or on the photo or on the cover, they're like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of so-and-so, a dog that I grew up with or a dog that I have or what have you.
Yeah, and we get a lot of people sending us emails saying that they grew up with a Weimaraner or people that know about the dachshund personality, that feisty, stubborn personality. So it's fun to see people sharing their own personal stories.
Absolutely. Now, do they share their photos of their pups as well?
Yeah, we get a lot of people sending photos, so it's so much fun for us to go through and read everyone's emails and look through their pictures.
That's great. That is great. Well, Brittany, tell us a little bit about where everybody can find out about what's going on with you and find out more about Harlow and Sage in Indiana, a true story about best friends.
Yeah, so it's Instagram, and then it's just Harlow and Sage, and then Facebook is Harlow and Sage, and then harlowandsage.com as well. So
nice. Makes it nice and easy. So everybody go check that out. You can go to harlowandsage.com, follow them on Facebook, Harlow and Sage, and then Instagram, Harlow and Sage as well. Do all three of them so you can keep track of all their happenings, because I have a feeling there's probably a few more thousand photos coming our way and a few more postings, I would say, wouldn't you, Brittany?
Yeah, definitely.
That's great. All right. Well, appreciate it very much. Everybody pick up a copy. It's a wonderful story. The photos are fantastic. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It's got all kinds of great little things in there. It's a great book for all ages. So everybody pick up a copy of Harlow and Sage in Indiana by author Brittany Vega. It's a true story about best friends. You're going to enjoy it, and the family will enjoy it as well. Brittany, thanks so much for coming on the Animal Rights Show. We appreciate it, and we look forward to following you and Harlow and Sage in Indiana and the gang as you guys move forward with all your activities.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of the show tonight. But I want to thank everybody for listening to the Animal Rights Show on Pet Life Radio. I want to also thank our sponsors and producers for making the show possible. To find out more about me and the other guests I've interviewed on the Animal Rights Show, you can visit PetLifeRadio.com. That's PetLifeRadio.com. Click on the Animal Rights icon and listen to all the wonderful episodes, download them, and take them with you on the road and wherever you may be going. And while you're there, be sure to check out all the other hosts and shows on Pet Life Radio. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for this show, you can email me at tim@petliferadio.com. That's tim@petliferadio.com, and I'll be glad to answer your questions, entertain your comments, and bring on the people you want to hear most onto the show. So real quick, though, we do have the promotion going on, so here's the question of the day. Here's your chance to win the audiobook, Wagging Tails, Every Animal Has a Tail. Can you give me the name of author Brittany Vega's 3 Furry Puppies? Everybody should be listening. It's pretty easy. It's on the title. So the first person to email me with the correct answer, tim@petliferadio.com, will get a free audiobook download of Wagging Tails, Every Animal Has a Tail. So until next time, write a great story about the animals in your life. Share it in a blog, an article, or in a book. And who knows? You may be the next guest on Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Have a great day.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.